Hey, everybody. I hope you had a good Thanksgiving, but welcome back. I had a great holiday. It was a little different than normal. Obviously, it's one of those years, but I had quality time with family, just in smaller groups than normal. Had some good food, traditional meals, and had some downtime with Karen and the kids. So it was a great holiday weekend, and I hope you had the same. Hope you had some time to reflect on all the many ways that you've been blessed. I know I am very thankful for many things in my life and truly blessed with family, friends, and our business and the country we live in and so many things. And it's good to have that opportunity to just sit and reflect and be reminded, remember those many blessings. So one thing that I enjoyed from the holiday, and I thought you guys would enjoy too, guys and gals, obviously, was a discussion with my brother-in-law, Kyle. Shout out to you, Kyle. I appreciate you. I know you listen. And Kyle is new to real estate investing, and we end up having a lot of good discussions. So I appreciate your discussions. And the discussion we were having on Thanksgiving was about what activities in business lead to wealth. And specifically, we were talking about a business versus investing in real estate, buying, hold, owning properties versus property management of those properties. And this kind of concept or discussion comes up a lot. So if you remember back in episode 44, Ryan Ingram was interviewed, and he has a business. He's an insurance agent. He owns rental properties. He has a portfolio, so he's an investor. And in that interview, he was talking about transitioning to taking over property management. He had hired a property manager. Now he was doing it himself. And so the discussion was, which of those activities should you focus on? Which of those activities, when you're trying to grow something, should you grow a business? Whether that's independent, like insurance sales, or a landscaping company, or a construction company, or flipping business, wholesaling business, whatever that is. Or should you focus on property management? Or should you focus on growing your assets and building your portfolio? And the discussion in some ways really relates to Robert Kiyosaki's second book, Cash Flow Quadrant. If you've ever read that book, there's a very simple picture that the whole book is based off of. And it's an X or a plus sign. So 4 quadrants, 4 squares. And on one side, you have employee, self-employed, which would be a business with no employees. So there's no passive aspect to it. And on the other side, you have a B for business or an I for investor. And from that book, if you read that book, it clearly shows or demonstrates that an employee, if you're on one side of the quadrant, an employee or self-employed, it's hard to become wealthy, whether that's due to no leverage of your time, no leverage of other people, or due to the tax code and really the way our country is set up. If you're on that side of the quadrant, it's difficult. But if you are a business owner or an investor, if you're on the other side of the quadrant, then wealth comes from that because you're able to leverage other people and their skills. You're able to leverage time. You can make money when you're doing other things. There's some passive aspect to that. If you're on vacation, whether that be a weekend or a month, there is still income coming in. Okay. So with that, the wealth, if you're looking at the 3 aspects Kyle and I were talking about, if you have a business and you have a rental portfolio and you have property management, a business is going to bring wealth. So it's good to increase your business, whether that's any of those examples I just gave, but there has to be some kind of passive aspect to it. If you are a wholesaler if you don't work on any leads, are there still deals getting done? Do you have somebody bird dogging leads? Do you have somebody processing leads? Do you have some system set up for dispositions? If you have a landscaping company, if you're sick or you get hurt, does the landscaping still get done? Are the yards or properties still being mowed? If all of that happens independent of you, then that will build wealth. You can move on to other things. You can build that business, and you're leveraging other people's skills and time. If you add units, if you increase your investing or your properties that you own, obviously that leads to wealth, because over time, those properties go up in value. Over time, those tenants pay down the mortgage. Over time, rents increase. There are a whole bunch of great things that happen with rental properties over time. And I've only been doing this, 7 years. But even in 7 years, I can see rents have gone up. Property values have gone up. And so that's just a benefit of owning it. I don't have to improve that house at all. And the cash flow that I get each month has increased. And if I were to refinance that, I would get a good chunk of money at the refinance closing without improving the property. That's just a benefit of ownership. So we always want to increase our holdings, as long as it can be passive. If we're super involved in it, then there's going to be a cap on what we can own. So our businesses lead to wealth, our investments lead to wealth. If we are self-managing our properties, I don't really think that leads to wealth. That can save money, that can make our investments run more efficiently. In my case, I self-managed my properties because I didn't have any income, and that was an activity I could do when I started. And now I self-manage my properties because I have a staff and a system to do it. And so it runs more efficiently than if I hired a property manager. The discussion in episode 44 with Ryan Ingram, it was a similar thing. He was getting frustrated with the property management company. They couldn't adapt as fast as his portfolio. They didn't care about it as much as he did, obviously. And so he switched to self-management, not to become wealthy, but to save money and to increase his monthly cash flow because it would be more efficient. I think he said it was around a $5,000 increase per month when he switched to self-management. So if you're wrestling with what activities should I focus on, which I know a lot of us are, I still go back and forth because time is limited. We all want to have this huge impact. We all want to grow, and we don't have enough hours in the day, frankly. So we have to pick and choose what we spend our time on. So if you're wrestling with that, just keep in mind, growing a business builds wealth. Building your portfolio of passive investments definitely builds wealth. And property management, self-managing your own properties will save you money, but won't necessarily build wealth. So I hope that discussion helps you. I enjoyed it, and I thought you would enjoy it too. So thanks again, Kyle. Look forward to many more. If any of you have a question, drop it in the comments. Email it to me, Chad@True Wealth Investors. I'd love to hear what questions you care about, what discussions you would like to have. So thanks for tuning in. Until next time.